I'm sick of the year already. I'm sick of the academic year already. We started today. I'm back. The top says England star player. I am gonna talk you through some of my writing. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. This is my main workbook when it comes to writing. I started writing initially on paper, obviously, then I progressed onto Word documents in high school, and then I moved to writing in my notes app when I got my first iPhone, and then I realized that I have too many random drafts, words compiled in my notes app, so then I transferred most of my notes app writing into Notion probably 2 years ago now. So my Notion is the main thing that I will try and open on a daily basis to try and get all my thoughts onto a page. This piece is just very loosely called Liberation because there was a casting call on Instagram. I think it's some sort of like community creative engagement event where spoken word artists and poets and writers and artists come together to talk about some of the injustices going on in the world, and more specifically Gaza, and I believe raising money for not only Palestine but also for the arts in Manchester in a local community as well. In the process of writing this for the submission, I'm beginning to realize that I don't think I like writing poetry on demand. I think most of my poetry actually comes from a place of me writing and me journaling my thoughts, and then from that it then becomes material for me to write poems. Or if I do write poetry, it's quite satirical. It can be deep but laced with witty humor, but the main focus is quite heavy to talk about. Anyway, enough talking, let's go to it straight away. Let's try and break it up so that when I scroll, y'all can see the rest of the nose app, you understand? What does it mean to the world that I can cry behind my screen whilst children cry under rubble? When instead of tasting the highs with the sugar rush of ice cream, the children themselves instead scream. Why did I write this? With my opening line, the main inspiration for me recently was the fact that I had watched a video on TikTok, maybe a series of videos, different angles, which is just insane to say. I saw a hospital in Gaza. It had just been attacked. The first responders were on the scene attending to the situation. As they were calling people over, they were bombed themselves. So I think after seeing those videos over the last couple of days, and then having the casting call come out on Instagram, I really could not ignore the fact that I felt a sense of privilege to be able to just see a video and then switch off from it, but then still campaign for the people. It is such a privilege to be able to pursue politics and to engage actively in the world's situations and the world's problems. But those of us that are very politically inclined feel very shameful and feel very guilty of the fact that we can still pursue politics actively and it's not at the expense of our livelihoods. Whereas if you're campaigning for freedom in the streets of wherever in the world, that could cost you your life. I just say as well, I've not finished this piece, so please bear with me. And also, I have not actually Googled or YouTubed the pronunciations of every single word you're going to see on the screen. In Syria, they echo Haraya. In Congo, the call is for bonsomi. The Ethiopians demand nets aneti. And in Afghanistan, the word is azadi. And then from the river to the sea, all different tongues, different alphabets, and different struggles. But we're all one people sharing the same hunger. I really don't like that line. Praying for a better tomorrow isn't enough to stop the attacks on their not soon to be born grandsons. I don't know where I was going with the end of that sentence. I wanted to do like, newborn, soon to be born, something. So play on the word and go on their not soon to be born grand newborns. I'm trying to talk about war's generational impact on a family tree. Because making it to tomorrow through the night shouldn't be enough. Their burdens are not theirs alone to carry. I really do not like this whole paragraph. We can just go ahead and delete that. The idea of sugar being such a luxury in most parts of the world is so crazy to think about. And that's what I had in my head when writing the second line. Because even in the countries that produce the world's sugar and chocolate, the kids themselves don't actually taste what they're slaving away making due to colonialism, capitalism, everything, every ism you can think of. Hope that in this second line, it's not necessarily saying, Zainab wants all the kids to be in ice cream. No. It's more of the idea that sugar is such a, having something sweet in your mouth, and the experience of sugar is such a nuanced experience that, you can give a newborn sugar and then they're gonna be elated. They can't even convey in their expressions how the sugar makes them feel. Sugar, obviously, it's gonna light up whatever centers in your brain, the dopamine centers. All these words at the end. It's a spoiler for my poem, but they do mean freedom or free in their native tongues. All different tongues, different alphabets, different struggles. Don't really like it. One people sharing the same hunger. Again, don't like it. I think it's a little bit tone deaf, because making it to tomorrow through the night shouldn't be enough. I think I'm really lacking substance in this paragraph. I was struggling to fill up the space. Burdens are there. Yeah, don't worry about that, man. This paragraph is going. It's the silence after gunfire. When the dust has settled, even for just a moment. It's the lullabies for the lost, the songs of rejoice for those who have been found. And then that's how I'd end it off. I'd have 3 more lines. Give myself space for 3 more lines. 1. And this is literally how I write sometimes. It's just, I will brainstorm a few words, just vomit onto the page, read it out, change the order, delete it, start again, put it in the bin, start again. Freedom is the silence after gunfire. I'm going to leave it with the audience. In the comment section, just tell me what I mean by that. Tell me what I'm trying to imply. When the dust is settled, even for just a moment, because it's still, it's quiet. Lullabies for the lost, songs of rejoice for those who have been found. A harmony that aches. And again, with this sentence, I'm not sure what I want to say. Am I saying that silence is a harmony that aches? Because, when something's just been attacked and it's completely, and after all the screams and the crying, silence falls. So maybe that's that harmony that aches. Or on the flip side, it could be, I just finished watching A Quiet Place for the first time and Bird Box as well. So that could be where I'm getting the ideas of silence and lullabies and songs and from as well. Or on the flip side, it could be the fact that crying and wailing and screaming in a way is harmony. It's the ripping of shawls made into a pad for a girl bleeding for the first time. The whisper, like commotion, as her mother struggles to keep this taboo away from the family. Back to mainly Palestine, then also I think influenced by the atrocities happening in Congo, happening in Sudan. That hygiene is not only a massive problem, and not only do we have massive public health concerns in these crises, but there's also a massive hidden impact on women and young girls who are menstruating for the first time or have to maintain themselves whilst bleeding. Just the idea is that, okay, if they're not able to take care of themselves properly and they're bleeding, their risk for getting diseases also just increases by virtue of them being a bleeding woman. Women are now going to detest something very natural to them because they have to bleed in such an undignified way, and they have to take care of themselves in such an undignified way that it kind of strips you further of your identity in a place where war is already stripping you of a livelihood and a life to long for as well, to keep this taboo away from the family. And yet again, it's the idea that even in war, even in conflict-riddled zones and areas, the patriarchy is still rife. The mom's having to decide between buying rice or buying grains or buying period products for her girl so that her husband and brothers of the family and people in the community don't know that she's bleeding or of age to be bearing children. Oh, the world is a sick place. What does it mean to the world that I can ride an electric bike powered by the cobalt, bloodied by children working in the mines? In the effort to decarbonize the Western world, we destabilize developing economies by displacing kids from school to the mines, when they should be learning, crafting their dreams, empowering themselves to better their own tomorrow. And so when a Scouse lad calls out the BBC's complicity on live TV, it's a reminder to the big WATs that we can pick up the pen in their place. This one, I moved my focus just a little bit I moved my attention to Congo, the DRC, where there is an unprecedented scale of children working in the mines in the mines for cobalt, which is one of the biggest contributors to reusable batteries. I want to draw the attention for just a second back to us in the privileged position. Bring the attention away from the crises just for a second, back to us at home here. Give that same sort of like, oh my gosh, look at me, look at Zainab, activist, and yet, when was the last time you've ever looked to buy fair trade chocolate? Oh my gosh, look at Jamie. Bless Jamie. Jamie doesn't want to buy a car because he knows the impact of fossil fuels on the environment, but yet Jamie only drinks bottled water. It's kind of that whole like, what's the point in any of this? I do want to include the Scouse guy from Results Day. That's why I wrote it down. I want to have him somewhere in my poem. So when a Scouse lad calls out the BBC's complicity on live TV, which is a lot of it's a reminder to the big WATs. And you see me, I don't swear. So I thought I want to on this BBC complicity on live TV, because E is one of my favorite rhyming sounds. Reminder to the big WATs that we can pick up the pen in their place. Again, this is directly drawn from Callum, the young boy that I'm talking about. He has done some further interviews where he's sharing the fact that, and he really wanted to convey the idea that it's Results Day, we're in such positions of power and privilege to go to school, get our results, and off we go. That's our livelihood set in front of us, whereas the kids in Gaza can't do this. So big up Callum, man, every time. You know I love my Scouse people. An erasure of the voices speaking for the voiceless, whatever that means. Okay, this is me just soundboarding my ideas now. I used to use the rhetoric of free the world till it's backwards, but now it's free the world until it's moving forwards. When people say, well, what sort of world are we becoming? Like, I just can't imagine the world being like this. Imagine. This ain't CBB. Start thinking in your reality. Start planting yourself on the ground. The world is already backwards. Everyone talks about this dystopian reality. How's that different to what we're living? Yeah, so I think I wanted to end my poem by empowering the reader, try and be as proactive in the activism. Bye. I hope that you can see a bit of my thought process when it comes to writing, specifically writing poetry on demand. Hate it.